I mean,
Because he's
because to
thinking
play
down the
football,
road.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Some people don't think down the road because some people just put all their that's all they have. That's all
Hmm.
they think about is football. This is what I came here to do. Um, that's my reason I think college football is the minor leagues because
Hmm.
especially when you bring up the top tier programs, you bring those D1 teams, not the D1 AA of like the CAA and stuff like that. I mean like the FBS programs of the Power Five.
Yeah.
Like
But I also get why people, even though Lamar Miller is a pretty good quarterback, especially last
mhm,
season, I can get
yeah,
why people are a little concerned just because of how his
plays.
system is or how he plays, because they see how RG3 kind of
Yeah,
similar,
but
but
things changed since RG3 though.
they have definitely everyone
Like
more so is that way.
Think about when Vic and RG3 were playing. Like that
Yeah,
things changed. Like back then, you could take someone, you could do is throw a slant and someone come across and knock your head off.
yeah,
Like Ray Lewis could play freely out there in the middle
hmm,
and take someone out. Now you can't.
yeah,
Like beforehand, anywhere on the field you could be running and you had to be head on a swivel because you could get
hmm.
smacked. Now it's like you can't. Like
Remember
the
how much of a
receiver has.
I was thinking about this the other day because we mentioned last time how we were going through old, how at least my family list was going through like old home movies, and one of
Mhm.
the more recent Christmases, I want to say '05 it was. For some reason, the football jerseys we got, Mitch was a Tom Brady, and mine was a Mike Vick when he was still on the Falcons, and I'm assuming
Oh
before the
wow.
whole dogfighting ring. But remember how
Mhm.
big of a deal it was when the Eagles brought in Mike Vick,
Yeah,
and he
I
had
remember that. It
Andy Reid
was
around his shoulder or whatever. Like this is weird because
very
he had
controversial.
very controversial. But then once he played, like, okay, okay, I like him.
Yeah, well, because that's the whole thing. No matter who you are, if you're good, we don't care. You really don't care as a
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
fan. As a fan, you can say, "Oh, I care about morals." No, you don't. You
yeah,
care if your team wins.
yeah.
As an organization, it's a little different. As an organization,
Mm-hmm.
you want the right people, right fit. But as a fan who doesn't have to deal with that backlash, you're just like, who can only give the criticism. You can't take any like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like, oh, you don't care if what he did in the past. As long as he can perform, that's what you care
Mm-hmm.
about.
And when he was with I'm sure people even thought when he came to the Eagles, because he was later in his career, that he wasn't going to be the same. He was
I
almost
didn't think he was
as
gonna be the
effective as
same.
he was when he was in his prime, when he's with the
I thought when
Eagles.
he came on, I was saying my head was like, all right, he did a bad thing. Second chances, I'll give it to him. But can he perform
Yeah,
like he did back then? Like
and he.
I was all for giving him a second chance. I was all for it.
Oh
I was
yeah.
wondering just because he hasn't played this for
Mm-hmm.
however long, what his production was going to
Yeah,
be, which it turned out to be good.
it did, but also this helped too is the weapons the Eagles had then as well.
Oh yeah, I mean back then the Eagles were
Yeah.
doing pretty well. I mean, McNabb just retired,
Mm-hmm.
and so
Everybody
I
hated
mean,
McNabb too,
everyone hated McNabb. No one.
even when they
I'm glad.
drafted him. Even when they drafted him,
Yeah, even when that like
because everybody wanted Ricky Williams.
yeah, there was just a lot of things that were going on in that team. No, I think I'm interested. That's why I'm interested to see the draft to see who the Eagles get.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm interested.
Mm-hmm.
Interested who's gonna go, who they're gonna go for. I mean, they picked up a huge defensive player, Slay.
Yeah. But my thing is, I feel like they should focus now that they got kind of their corner a little bit situated, even though they did lose Malcolm Jenkins, and that's kind of a huge loss.
Yeah, that was a
Um,
loss.
the one loss that I feel like they still have yet to kind of address is receiving. They
That's always a
haven't done.
loss. That's we don't have threats.
We don't.
We don't have deep threats whatsoever.
We don't. But
Also,
also,
Wentz can't throw
yeah,
far either.
that's what I was going to say. Wentz can't really throw that far. So, and
I mean, like
you're also putting a lot of faith in Deshaun Jackson, trying to be the Deshaun Jackson he was in the past. And Deshaun Jackson gets hurt so often because of the way he
guys,
runs. Because he's so fast and
he's
everything, he's more liable for an injury like he did last season.
yeah. No, I agree with that. If he gets hurt, like he's out. But if he stays in, he's good. He's
Even
solid.
Alshon Jeffrey, he's always gets hurt every year.
We just don't have threats like we used to.
No.
Like it's just besides Ertz, we have nobody.
Yeah.
Like how the Eagles get to playoffs sometimes. I'm like I don't know how you got there.
Yeah.
Your defense got you there basically.
For the most part, but then you're like, the defense then struggled. But like, well, maybe it's because the offense was struggling so much earlier on that they got tired near the end because they played.
Yeah. Because if you know, it goes both ways. If the team puts up 40 on you, the offense put 40 plus.
Yeah.
If the offense can't get anything, then it's all on the defense, and your guy, we have to stop them every play because our defense, because our offense can't score.
And that's
So
what was and that's what was so huge with Malcolm Jenkins, which is going to be a loss now, was that he was always someone on the defensive end, even when they're struggling, that would be able to shut them down or do something that would kind of pump the brake, because he was that good of a leader to calm everyone down and that great of a safety to play that well.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm curious on what's going to happen. The Eagles need to bring in some offensive weapons to kickstart anything, because
I also think.
What do you think about? Here's a huge controversy. What do you think about Wentz now? It's what, year 4 with him?
Yeah.
What do you think? Everyone thought he was gonna be our Lord and Savior.
Yeah.
I want to know. I already have my like thought process on it. I want to hear yours. I'll tell you mine after yours.
I think he's okay to good. I don't think he's as good as some Eagles fans have praised him out to be. This great multiple
savior.
Savior kind of thing of the franchise. I get when they won the Super Bowl, he was a great part of that. The other part of this is also, you kind of knew his injury history when he drafted him too. He had other ACL just before then. So you kind of understood the injury, but I guess it helps that you have Zach Ertz and good running backs to be able to kind of catch it. Because that's the one thing that he has been able to rely on, even when he hasn't had receivers, is good tight ends. Because when he first came in,
checkdowns.
Yeah, that's a lot of it. But then sometimes I feel like he reads a little too much. He needs to get a little. My thinking is he needs to get a little better on the accuracy.
Okay. Yeah. So I agree with you.
I see the appeal in him. I see that, but I need to see more. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, because unfortunately he had nothing really to say about getting concussed in the last playoffs, but the playoffs are a different beast. Just look at Lamar Miller's first year. His first year in the playoffs, he played terribly against the Chargers.
Yeah, because playoffs are, like we talked about this last time, there's a different mentality no matter what sport you're in, or no matter what level you're in. It's preseason, regular season, and there's playoff. And then of course then there's championships. Right, preseason you're slow, you're getting the kinks that worked out. And as the regular season progresses, you get better and better and better. But once playoff hits,
that's what you're trying to get, is better and better and
better. Yeah, better and better and better. But once playoff hits, it goes from, even if you're stagnant the entire time, it shoots up.
Yeah.
Or if you get better and better and better, it still shoots up.
Yeah.
The playoff mindset is just a different magnitude.
I also
of not just the team itself, it's every player, it's their own individual mindset. It's like, okay, playoffs now, game time, let's roll it.
But even going back to that Super Bowl winning year, even then, I got why we were the underdogs. I got it.
Oh yeah.
You were going up against Tom Brady. You're going to be the underdog every time.
Yeah, even if he hasn't won even if he loses his past 3 games, you're still gonna, no matter what game it is.
Even if he has very few weapons, like he has the past couple years in New England.
You're going to be the underdog. Because
it's Tom Brady. He's owned this league for a decade.
20 years.
Over that. Yeah, 2 decades.
2 decades, basically. Since he stepped in, he's progressed significantly faster than almost any QB. And he's won 6 Super Bowls in the past.
And he's
9 years. But he's gone to 9 or 10 Super Bowls.
And he should help any quarterback, whoever's coming out of college, who might not have done so great in college, but is later in the rounds, not obviously first overall, first round or whatever, that you can still be just as great in the later rounds. You don't have to be first overall to be great.
Yeah, Patriots lost twice to the Giants, right?
Yeah.
So they lost twice to the
And both
Giants.
those games were close too.
Yeah, but they lost both to the Giants and once to the Eagles. So they've been to the Super Bowl 9 times.
Yeah.
At least 9 times.
At least.
And they've won 6 of them.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, you know, you can't argue that.
It's going to be different now. It's going to be different now that he's in Tampa Bay, and an even harder division, and even harder now division in NFC South, right?
Yeah. I still think he's still going to tear. I think he's still going to.
Breeze came back to New Orleans. Matt Ryan, I'm still not sure on.
I think it's the interesting thing to be Saints.
He's kind of on the down end, but there's Julio Jones. He has Julio Jones.
I think it's gonna be Saints, and it's gonna be the. I really consider how the Bucks
didn't Carolina get Teddy Bridgewater?
They did, yes.
And
I don't think he's not that good.
He isn't, but for last year and those few games when the Saints were without Breeze, he played great.
Yeah.
It's not
but also look at his weapons.
That's the one thing I'm just saying. It's not a walk-on like he did for the AFC East. It's not what he had to deal with for the 2 decades he's played, the 20 years or whatever.
It's not gonna be a walk in the park, but I still think if he can get really good chemistry with his teammates, and he has weapons now.
Yeah,
he can do well.
Here's the other thing too. Because the Buccaneers and the Saints have to play against each other twice. Breeze versus Brady twice against each other.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be really interesting.
And I don't know I don't even know what New England's gonna do for a quarterback.
Jarrett Stidham, their backup.
Okay.
Came from Auburn. Mm-hmm. So I think
I don't even know
he's there.
I don't know if anyone's even gone after Cam Newton since being released. I don't even know if he's gonna end up.
I'm not sure either. But going back all the way back to the Wentz thing.
Yeah.
Real quickly.
Oh yeah, you didn't get your.
To give you my, it's simple. I think I agree with you that he came in. I thought he was gonna do really well for the team. I wasn't like immediately like yes. He's like a lot of fans, were like he's a savior. Yeah. End of story. Where I'm like, we haven't seen this dude play yet. We saw him play. He played for a dominant college team.
My bigger thing was he was at North Dakota, what state was it? North Dakota, something like that.
North Dakota State University.
Not saying that's the biggest of colleges or whatever. I'm like, okay, let's give him some chance or a little bit to show what he has.
I do say there is he did run it for a long time with them, and North Dakota State. I know, just because he went there, I know that they ran several championships.
Oh yeah.
I do think there is slightly there is a mindset different from their league to the FBS.
Yeah.
Like top tier teams, of course.
But obviously, you're more into the college football than I kind of am. But when I see that, that's kind of the thing that kind of at first was like, okay, let's see what he has first.
Like I don't dock anybody who doesn't go to a big school because
me either.
Whatever. But I wasn't somebody who was like, he's the Lord and Savior for this team.
No, I wasn't either.
But
even I would have said the same. I would have said the same thing with Jared Goff as well, because it was between those two. I'm like, okay, both these guys. I just want to see what they have.
I didn't think any of those QBs in that thing was like, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
None of them were like that. I was kind of like,
okay,
all right.
Yeah.
Like, I really wasn't sold on any of the QBs that were in that draft.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I can't really think about.
What draft was that?
2015. I honestly don't know. Don't.
I'm looking it up. So.
4 years. So what? 2016.
Yeah, right? 2016 was his first year, so it would have been.
Yeah.
2016.
2016. So with that, I can say. The last time I thought a quarterback would do really well was Baker Mayfield.
He played pretty well his first year. After that, it kind of fell out.
Yeah, I thought Baker Mayfield would play well as a QB. I knew Saquon Barkley was going to play well because he tore it up in Penn State.
Yeah.
Nick Chubb did really well at Georgia. I thought he'd do extremely well. Derrick Henry. I thought he'd have an amazing season right out the gate, but he didn't have the best season right out the gate.
There really wasn't any that great quarterbacks in that draft class.
Yeah, sometimes I was like, they're all good, but I wasn't like blown away by any of them. So
there was obviously Wentz and Goff.
Was Rosen in that one from UCLA?
Paxton Lynch.
Who's that?
He was a quarterback on Denver. He went to Memphis.
Oh yeah. I know Lynch there. Never mind. I didn't know his first name.
Christian Hattenberg.
Oh yeah, from Penn State. I remember that.
Who else?
See, none of them are just like, damn.
Jacoby Brissett. Cody Kessler. Connor Cook.
See, exactly.
None of these guys are.
Connor Cook came from Michigan. See, none of them, even for like those bigger ones, I'm like, none of them impressed me.
Dak Prescott.
Recently, okay, Dak Prescott was pretty good.
But even him, I feel the same kind of way with Dak Prescott than to do with Carson Wentz.
Yeah, but Cardell exactly
Jones.
Okay, from Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
You see, none of them were like, they were all really good in college, but none of them were I was like, all right, they're gonna tear it up.
Yeah,
they're gonna do really well their first year or second year.
Nate Sudfeld.
Nate Sudfeld. Yeah, Eagles. So with that, I was like,
yeah, all these guys are all backups now. Nice.
My concern is his health.
Oh, same.
I don't think I kept saying to some of my friends, I was like, hey, I support him. I'll always support him because he's an Eagle. Good for him. Fight through it. He's gonna ball out. But his health, if you can't finish a season, you're not lasting in the league. That's no matter how many numbers you put up in a season, it doesn't matter. If you can't finish a season from start to finish, you're not staying. You're gonna be kicked off.
Even though
that's what it is.
His second injury, the back fracture, I kind of blame more so on the team than Carson itself. Even though
it doesn't matter though.
Yeah, I know. It still happened. So that's the thing.
I understand,
but because of that,
I felt put him in.
That's why I was kind of confused as why you let. I get why, because money reasons, but if he gets hurt, and so far he's shown tends to get hurt a good amount, you need a solid backup.
Yeah, we don't have one.
No, we had one.
Foles
only does good on the Eagles. That's it.
Yeah. I understand him wanting to come back early and play if it was his decision. Because as an athlete, as a previous athlete and trying to be future athlete soon again, playing for a men's league, I played with injuries.
Sure.
Because I didn't want to let my team down. I played with concussion. I played with a bruised sternum. I played with a half-torn rotator cuff if I had to. Because I wanted to play and be there for my team. So I understand that.
Oh, yeah.
But also,
that was the mindset for a good portion, except for the past couple of years in the NFL. It was just a little dig.
You have an injury.
It's just a little dig. Yeah. Get back out there.
Whatever. I remember seeing a video from Shannon Sharp a while ago. And it was on YouTube of First Take or whatever it is. And he was saying I remember getting a concussion. I got knocked out. Brought me over, and my teammate was saying he said it was I'm holding up 2 fingers. How many fingers am I holding up?
Yeah.
He's like, 2. Cool. Good. Go back on. Or he was saying if you got knocked out and people were asking you what day it is, he said if you said Sunday, you're probably gonna be back on the field. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's how different that was too.
So that's how different it was back then to now, where it's hey, you're out. You're not playing. They're gonna protocol you instead of saying instead of asking them what day of the week it is, you could be like,
oh, definitely
Sunday.
If this was
cool. But this was even 5 years ago.
If 5 years ago, Wentz would have come back into that game, I bet.
Yeah.
Because I don't think his concussion was that bad. I think just concussion protocol reasons he was supposed to stay out for the rest of the game.
Yeah. I think he would have come back in and he would have played the rest of the game.
Oh, yeah. He threw a touchdown on a torn ACL.
Yeah. But if you can't, no matter who you are, if you
I'm
can't
not
finish,
even denying his toughness either, because
no, he's a tough player. I like him a lot. Mentality great, but
the one thing
you
I
just
will
can't finish.
say,
You can't finish the season. You're not going to win the game. You're not going to
no,
stay.
no.
You're gonna be cut. You're gonna be left
And
because you're not because you're a liability.
If we were in the AFC, I would say we'd have a better chance. We're playing in the harder. The NFC is so much harder.
Recently, yes.
Yeah, and it just got harder.
Yeah.
Tom Brady is now in this.
Yeah, we'd only see him maybe once a year.
Maybe.
And that's maybe. And also,
then if you after that, you're like, okay, the next time you see him, Super Bowl maybe. That was it.
Yeah, you're not gonna see him again.
Yeah,
you're not gonna see him again for 2 months.
Yeah,
3 months. But now you're gonna be like, oh, shit. You're gonna see him now.
Yeah,
you're gonna see him.
Mm-hmm.
At least now you're gonna play him once a year at least. Once a season,
possibly, depending on how the schedule works. It's always
just depending how you're gonna see him at least once.
Yeah,
that's a guarantee. You're gonna see him once.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on the schedule goes, you might see him a second time, and then you might see him a third time if he may make it into the. There's a possibility you see him 3 times in a season.
Possibly, yeah.
Like, do you want to see Tom Brady 3 times in a season?
Drew Brees has torn apart this team multiple times.
Yeah. Now you have to play him and Tom Brady.
Oh, and Aaron Rodgers. Oh, and
Aaron Rodgers.
And Russell Wilson.
Yeah, so you have to play 4 solid QBs in a season now, at least once, if not twice a season.
Yeah. And there's other teams that you have to face are right around Carson Wentz's, I'd say right around like Kirk Cousins, maybe a little around that kind of tier of players.
Also, you have to go through think about that gauntlet you have to go through at the end of the year usually.
Think of not just that. Think of those teams. The NFC West has very good defense. That's pretty much how the 49ers made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I agree with that. Garoppolo wasn't that great of a QB throughout the year, but his defense was solid.
Yeah.
So, as an Eagles team, I don't. As of right this second, if we said we had to play them, I don't want to see those 4 QBs.
No.
In a row, I don't want to see those 4 QBs in a row.
And you most likely would have to.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Nearing the end of the season, you'd probably see them at least. You'll probably play them, or you'll play them earlier in the season, of course, spread out. But then you'll have to play Dallas, Seahawks, and Green Bay all back to back.
Yeah.
Dallas doesn't have Dak Prescott's not amazing, but you have a downhill runner in Elliott and a solid offense.
And Amari Cooper.
And Amari Cooper. Do you want to play that solid offense and go straight to playing Russell Wilson and then go straight to playing Drew Brees? No, I don't. You're gonna see it.
Oh, and also
3 or 4 lost games.
When you go into the Super Bowl now, you're probably playing what's his face? God damn it, just lost his name. Who just won the Super Bowl with the Chiefs?
Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
And you have to play Ravens later, probably.
And you'd have to find a new spy. You can't use Jenkins anymore for a spy. You don't have him. He was your spy.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of teams out there that have a lot of threats now on their team, and a lot of them are in our division.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing if we can't stack up our offense over our defense, or be prepared, or at least be prepared for them. I see a massive ass kicking of us going 3-4 games in a row losing.
It's kind of a joke, but the NFC East might be the worst division in the NFL.
Yeah, we were us and Dallas were leading with what, a 5, maybe a 600 lead, maybe going 600.
Maybe.
I think we actually were under 500 at one point, and we were still fighting for the first spot.
Yep.
That's not good.
No.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure if we were under 500 or not, but
I think we were right around there. We were around there.
We were 5-4, 4-4, or something like that, and we're just we were on the top.
Everybody was counting out the season at some point. We're like, okay, Dallas. Nobody wants the division. Dallas, nope, we don't want it. Nope, we don't want it.
Yeah.
Nope. And it literally came down to the last game.
Every game came to the point where we could be out of the season by this point. One more loss, we're out of the season.
Mm-hmm.
We're done.
And for Dallas' sake, I guess it's hard to beat them, but the one way to beat them is if you can stop Ezekiel Elliott. If you can stop him, you may have a chance.
If you
But
stop
if you
him,
can't stop him,
you kind of won the game.
if you can't stop him, you're not going to win.
You lose the. Oh yeah, that's why I think finding
same
Dallas
with
very interesting.
And even the Giants, even though they're not great, if you're not shutting down Saquon Barkley, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, with Daniel Jones having more experience behind his back.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be really interesting.
Those Eagles-Giants games were close last season, and the Giants weren't good.
Well, because they're not good. So I think that's what's really interesting about Dallas itself right now is that Elliott's such a great runner that if you can't stop him, you're not winning that game at all. Because he's going to cut you up, and then they're going to have outside options. But if you stop him, he only has outside options.
That's what DeMarco Murray was. For when he was that short time when he was dominant, if you couldn't stop him, you weren't going to win.
Yeah, it's horrible.
And then
and because also there's such a great player. It's not like they're not a good player. There's such a great player and dominant player that you're like, we have to actually stop him. These little 4 or 5, these little 5-yard chips, we can't allow those 5-yard chips.
That's the one bright spot of the Eagles is that their front on the defensive end is good. That's the thing that can help them, and they're good at shutting down the run. But those are 2 dominant running backs in your division that you have to go up against twice.
Yeah, it's just not fun.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be next season is going to be extremely interesting to see how everyone plays, especially now that the NFC has a solid crew.
And for fans' sake, don't go into it thinking you're going to win it all or go far in the playoffs, because that's a lot harder.
Take it at this just because of the gauntlet you have to run at the very end of the season every year, especially it made it harder that you're
not gonna have the Nick Foles success that you did those 2 years. The Super Bowl year.
You have to have a healthy. My thing is this now, unless we pick somebody up who I believe in, if you lose Wentz, your season's over.
Yeah.
I don't get me wrong. Nate Sudfeld, love him. Glad he's on the team, but he's not going to carry your team.
Nope.
So if Wentz goes down, your season's over. Scratch it. No matter if it's week 5, 6 in the season, he goes down in 6 games, you lost the season.